Entitled Mom grabs my dog and gets upset when my dog panics. TLDR, random mom grabs my dog and tries to keep him because she felt like he was abused, plus her little baby has been wanting a pet. Police had to get involved to get my dog back. Well, this just happened, and I'm a little in shock. It's a bit of a long story, so hang in tight. At 23, I always go for a long walk before work starts in the morning with my 11-month-old Scottish Terrier. He was rescued from a heavily abusive household, so there are some quirks he has that we're still having to work through. An important thing to note is that the price for pure breeds in the country have skyrocketed, and there is currently a waiting list for over a year for people who like to adopt dogs because of the pandemic. There is a city park across the street from my flat with a primary school adjacent. In the park there is also a dog section where they are allowed to run free. As I'm walking, my dog pauses to pee on a tree. I had my AirPods in and couldn't hear this woman until she came very close to me. When I took them off, she started screaming at me that dogs were not allowed to pee on the grass near the school and that I should know better. An important thing to note is that because of my dog's history, and he gets nervous, he can stay in the squatting position for over 10 minutes until he feels comfortable to go. This woman raising her voice at us definitely made him nervous. I immediately apologized and said that I wasn't aware it was a rule, but I'll definitely keep it in mind for next time. Since she was very close to me and neither of us were wearing a mask, I tried to pull my dog away to find another spot he could pee in. Thing is, my dog was very much stuck in deer caught in headlights mode and simply would not budge. Before I could get a chance to pick him up and walk away, this woman went to my dog, grabbed him by the handle on his harness and started walking away. This caused my dog to start panicking, and he was yelping at the top of his lungs. I ran up to her, not caring about the fact that neither of us were wearing masks, and tried to grab my dog from her. This woman actually kicked me hard enough that I fell on the ground and said verbatim, "I'm rescuing this dog away from you because clearly you're an abusive owner and he deserves better. My daughter has been waiting for a puppy and she deserves to have a dog." Thankfully, since we were so close to the dog park, I frequented it 3 times a day. One of the people I'm friendly with heard the commotion and called the cops. My dog has a GPS collar on him because I often go to my family's chalet where he is allowed to run free, as it's in a very rural area with fencing to prevent bears or other predators from coming into the property. We were able to use the app to find my dog, and when the police approached this woman, she concocted this story of her rescuing my dog and how the world has a way of working itself out, because she had been looking to get her daughter a pet for being such a good girl. Apparently dog theft is common, so there is a procedure they have to work through to verify the owner. Asked to see the dog and his tags to make sure that he was registered to my name. When the police asked her to recite the details on my dog's tags, she started screaming about how she witnessed me abusing my dog, and that it doesn't matter that I technically own the dog. They shouldn't give him back, and I deserve to rot in jail completely unprovoked. She actually thought that she'd be able to take my dog away from me. The original event all took place close enough to the school that there was CCTV footage of the entire incident. The cop who was helping me suggested I go to the ER quickly because the kick I received was giving me a lot of pain. The entitled mom managed to inflict more damage than I thought she was capable of, and when the police asked if I wanted to press charges, I agreed. My dog and I are now spending the day on my couch, and I've taken the day off work. The sheer level of entitlement this woman felt towards my pet shocked me, and I truly didn't realize prior that there are people who think like this.
Homophobic EM starts crying after she finds out I watch a show with a few LGBTQ+ characters. He then wants to put me in a church. My mom, the EM of the story, has always been a bit entitled, and how most entitled parents are. She's also homophobic. There will be a little bit of backstory as well. I also watch and love the show Steven Universe. Will be important later. The backstory part. So my mom once was going through a bunch of pictures and saw one with her transgender cousin. I personally don't have any problem with this, but my mom does. She called me in her room during her going through her pictures and asked me if I remembered her cousin Lindsay. Fake name. Now, with my memory being trash, I told her no, and then asked me later if I remember her cousin Josh. Again, fake name. He then told me that her cousin Lindsay is now Josh. I didn't think much of it until she started comparing trans people to people with Down syndrome. This kinda set me off a little bit, but I didn't say anything. The main story. One time during online classes, my mom came into my room bawling her eyes out. I asked her what was wrong, and being the emotional kid that I was, I started getting worried and thought I did something wrong. She told me no, but after asking a bunch, she eventually said that she was disgusted in me. Since I was on a break and had to get back on class shortly after, my mom told me that we will finish this conversation later. Honestly, I thought I did something wrong with a friend, and she was gonna make me end friendships with them. The other day, my mom said that she wanted to go on a bike ride. I said sure, and we went on it. This was the time she was gonna finish talking to me. Remember how I said that I watched Steven Universe? That's what this whole thing was mainly about. She said that she could tell how I was a little taken back about the things she said about her cousin. She also started off telling me that she was curious why I liked the show and asked me if the characters had a wedding and were female. Now these characters don't exactly have a gender, but all have female appearances. But I told her that, yes, there is a wedding with female characters. Then she started telling me that she was earlier asking questions like, why does my kid like this show so much? Does my child like watching this stuff? Etc. I told her that I mainly liked the show because of the story. Eventually, she told me that she wanted to put me in a church and she feels like a terrible mother for not doing it sooner. I was shocked. She actually wanted to put me in a church for supporting LGBTQ+. She told me that she wants me to learn the ways of God and stuff like that. I think she might have forgotten about it, as because she hasn't brought the subject up to me at all after that. Anyways, thanks for reading. And this is my second post. So if there are any subreddits that would go better with this story, feel free to LMK in the comments. Also, I had to keep it short because I was running out of time, but I might eventually add more details and context.
Entitled parents think they can park in my driveway because their kids are cranky and want to get to the beach now. That's his car towed and nearly rested.
I used to live on the bottom floor of the Story House in a very popular beach town in North Carolina. I was mid-20s. The upstairs was rented out for college-age guys. So 5 people, 5 cars, driveway built for 4, so one of us would either be on the grass or in a paid spot. If you had bills with your name and address, the city would give you a pass to park in certain paid spaces. So not a big deal, but finding a spot in the middle of summer was hard.
The house is maybe 100 yards to the beach. Pretty short walk. 5 min tops with beach gear and little ones.
I would leave to work at 6:30 a.m. and return around 5 or 6 p.m.
By the time I got home, most of the crowds would be gone, so a paid spot was easy for me to get.
So I'd typically leave the driveway for the upstairs guys.
One day I was running late and didn't get out of my house till nearly 8. The other guys have left and the driveway's empty. I'm walking out to my car and of course the lots are already 90% full or more.
As I'm crossing the street, I see a minivan coming up and pull into my driveway.
I didn't want to recognize it, so I waited to see if I knew them or they knew the upstairs guys.
A Steps polo shirt, visor, bowling short dad, and overly peppy mom with 3 screaming kids. Obviously no one I know.
I backtrack up. Excuse me, do you know the tenants upstairs or have permission to park here?
It doesn't matter, no one's parked here, and Billy, Bobby, and Brandy have to get to the beach.
There's 5 people living there, myself included, and we need to be able to park.
I know, so where's your car if you live there?
Any in that spot there because I have a pass and...
They don't lie to us. You're here just the same as us and upset. We know how to park for free. Me, I'm not lying. Dude, it's 8 a.m. I'm wearing my work uniform. And we don't need to listen to you. We're going to park and you can do whatever you want.
My children have to get to beach. You're ruining our vacation, so go away. Meanwhile, the kids are climbing on my fence and trees in and out of the street.
Me, okay, I'll just have you towed and you can deal with it later.
He gets in my face practically nose to nose. Try it and see.
This isn't your house, you were just a little shit. Mind you, I'm 5'11" and roughly 190 pounds, fairly good shape. Me, okay, have a nice day. So I went to my car and waited till they were pretty much at the beach, like I said. Very short walk. So I go inside and look up a tow service on the other side of town.
Hello, yes. You'd like to report a car illegally parked on my property. Address, 1 to 3 street name.
Sure, that's an hour away. Yeah, no, I'm not paying. That's their problem. Okay, be there in about an hour and a half. Called my boss. Not gonna be in today. Explained what happened. He's pretty easygoing guy. Told me to keep him informed. Till truck arrives. Then gone, I leave my car in the spot and wait. It's 10:30 a.m. or so by now. Sometime around 2 or 3 p.m. there is very angry knock at my door.
Internal thoughts, this gonna be fun.
Imagine the shock when I answered the door, beer in hand, grinning like an idiot. Me, can I help you? EM, you, where is Arvana? How did you get here?
Me, here's the card, headed towed across town. Gonna be fun cab ride.
Shut the door in their face. More angry yelling and knocking.
Me, yes.
ED trying to get in my house. You better get us Arven back. I'm gonna kick your ass. I'll have you arrested. Me, get to my house and call the cops. Not gonna change anything.
I managed to shove him into the door, get it closed and locked. Now I wait. Next 20 minutes are more angry knocking and yelling.
Finally, about 4 p.m.-ish, I see some blue lights and there's a much more polite knock at my door. I grew up on the beach. It's a small number of locals.
I know 70% of the locals. Police, bartenders, shop owners, residents. I know a lot of people on the island.
Hey Garrett, how's it going?
Yeah, it's good. These people say you stole their van and broke into this house.
Nope. They pulled into the driveway as I was leaving for work, pulled an attitude, walked away, said I couldn't do anything. So called Lou on the other side of town. Dan's there. I even gave them his card and offered to let them use my phone. He's lying. He stole our car. I demand he be arrested. He's storming up behind the officer. If you don't arrest him, they'll have you fired. This is ridiculous. Blah, blah. Jeeves, sir, back up. I'm going to figure this out. He now shoving past the officer. This is bullshit. Working his way into my house again.
Garrett is able to pull him out and manages to get him pressed up against his cop car.
Sure, we're trespassing now. Looking over at me, would you like to press charges?
Can you keep him in your car until they get a cab? I've got to get statements and everything.
So I gave my statement. Went inside, grabbed a beer, went out the back door, up the back steps, and around to the second floor porch. And there I sat smiling till a cab came about 5 or 5:30.
My upstairs neighbors showed up, but they didn't play any part in the story.
Check out my other awesome videos.